computer. Did it notify you? Okay.
Yes.
It usually does, but I wanted to make sure things haven't changed. Because my subscription that I have, it's included. So I thought, well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the roll call shows that we have 5 in attendance, and Maggie believes that that is a quorum. So under old business, we can report that Maggie and Glenn and I met at the, I say bank, but it's a credit union, Lebanon Federal Credit Union, and all of the paperwork has been signed. So now we are ready to go if a disaster strikes in order to sign off, because I talked to Marianne, ironically, this week. Paul has been hospitalized and he was due to come home. He's out at the VA Medical Center for quite some time. But I don't know if they actually released him like yesterday or the day before. It was within the last 2 days. I think I saw her, but she, that's just a report on our former chair, and he was one authorized to sign. So it was important that we got this done, because if he would take a turn for the worse, we don't want to have to track him down, if
Sure.
But yeah, it was quite the process, but together we got through it. And so we are set in that vein. And I thought a report there.
I can give a bank balance too.
Please do.
Currently, of course, we have the savings account, which you have to set up the accounts. That's just $35. But our checking account has $6,187.02.
Very good. Thank you so much. And is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
What, Dawn, and who seconded that? Glenn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those same sign.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion carries. Then the other thing, Maggie, do you have a secretary's report, or did you mail that out? Or
I don't know if I mailed it out. Basically, what I had written up, and I guess I could have put it on the screen, I forgot. But it was just about us meeting, and that actually you were going to give yourself till after the election to have this meeting, but I know how anxious you were to get us at least start going again and have that annual meeting. So that's okay.
I thought I got a directive to do it in October, so I thought, okay, we'll squeeze it in. I found a day where I could do it.
Yeah, and at the last meeting, we did agree that we need to keep the county COAD. We did need to keep it because it would be easier to start up after a disaster, and it would also be easier to recruit volunteers if we did a little, just keeping things like that. And our most immediate goal that Glenn and Joellen and I talked about was set up a local go-to file of people, organizations that could be contacted, which we have started working on. So we had originally started, when the group started, it was with the local ministerium, but there is no such group like that I know of and that anybody knows. So that was the other meeting. The last formal meeting we had that I looked up for minutes was March of 22. So,
and we are required by the bylaws to have at least one meeting annually.
Yeah.
So this will cover us on all accounts, I believe.
Yes.
Because this is 23 yet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Maggie. And I do remember getting that now in the emails from you. I think it went to everyone, but regardless, you gave us a verbal report as well. So is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report, I mean the secretary's report?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Glenn. Is there a second? Thank you, Don. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then under old business, Maggie mentioned that we talked about a go-to file, and we had individually started creating it because the calls that I made, the contacts that I made, there is no countywide ministerium where we could just tap into theirs by saying, could you email this to everybody, or can you give us their email addresses? So we started with lists and tried to go online. We even had a day where we worked together on this to look up names and emails and phone numbers. And I'd say, I didn't count them, but maybe half of them have emails. So I'd like to write a letter and have whoever is willing with the officers or whatever to sign, and then we can email it to those who have email. And then those who do not, we would have to have a motion, hopefully that you wouldn't mind that. I don't know if it'll cost us $50 if we have 100 to mail, but the postage is over 50 cents a piece right now, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I can see where it would be $50 to $100 till you get the printing in there. But to let them know that we're still alive and that we are working with DES and that they have been identified as a possible partner. And to what degree would you like to be a partner? Would you like to join us on board meetings? Would you like to provide volunteers, or would you like to provide money? And that's basically what the letter would say, and see what kind of responses we get.
Yeah.
So if that meets with your approval, would there be a motion, or does somebody, and then we can discuss it more?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Don.
Second.
Is there a second?
And I will second.
Thank you. Go ahead, Maggie.
All right. The only thing I wanted the more I reflected on it, I agree contacting either letter or email, the snail mail or email, the organizations we have listed. And I just want to tell everybody, there are so many, we did civic and religious organizations. There are so many just in the Lebanon area. I just started not writing them down anymore. I looked up, and we didn't even get over towards Palmyra or any place. We had one or two up towards Jonestown, and I was flabbergasted. Now, we're not sure all of them are viable isn't the right word, but whatever.
Still in existence.
Yeah, still in existence and stuff like that. My question is about the content of the letter that I reflected on. I think it's good to let people know that we're there. I think it's good to know that we should give them a status that we're there, ready to go if something happens. I'm not sure about asking them to donate. Well, maybe volunteers and stuff, because they don't know, a lot of them won't know anything about us, and they're not going to know.
We would also include the Facebook page so they can review what has been done and to see more about it. And if we're going to raise funds, you start from the very beginning to ask that. And I know we don't need it today, but if we have a disaster tomorrow, we are going to need it.
Yeah.
I two things that, because I was there when we had our first big meeting over one of the Lutheran churches on the north side of town. Crystal Smith was the one that actually started the whole thing. And at that time, we needed a lot of money, but we didn't have any. And it wasn't until I think it was the guy from United Way started writing grant requests. And that's when we started to get funding to help the homeowners. We don't have an avenue with LCCM, so I think this letter to explain who we are and what we do, and to also consider, given the volunteers, and if you leave the donation option open, that may or may,
Okay.
you know, that's just one other way. I mean, when I got up in front of the church, you know, right after that happened, I said, okay, here's what you can do. We can always use prayers. We need volunteers. And oh, by the way, if you want to donate money, you can do that.
Exactly.
But the biggest thing that we're going to need right off the bat is the volunteers. And we don't have the LCCM, is it Lebanon County Christian Ministry Group
Yeah.
anymore. What I did find, and this is just for down the road, hopefully we'll never have to use it, but I printed up a notice and drove around to every single post office in the county. And at one time or another, everybody goes into the post office. And we got a lot of homeowners that saw that, and then that's how they contacted me.
But this wouldn't go in that letter.
No, that wouldn't go in the letter at all.
No, that would be if we'd have an emergency.
Exactly.
Right.
And may
Yeah.
I ask why we don't have LCCM? Did they withdraw or something?
Lack
Yeah.
of interest,
Well, that would be most of the places right now, I would think.
from the various churches.
You can still contact them.
I mean, if the churches are still there, they just don't have a common group
Right.
in the county anymore.
And the biggest change
I have
that
a
I
point.
noticed from the last time we operated is there are quite a few Spanish churches, which I don't remember them being there before, or we weren't aware of them.
That's correct.
It would be good to have representation from them because it's the minority communities who are often most adversely impacted by disasters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good
Exactly.
point.
I think one of the things too, Don, that and everybody that would make sense to target in that letter is all of the organizations who do the work we're talking about. United Methodist Committee on Relief, Presbyterian Disaster Assistance, Mennonite Disaster Services, all of our ecumenical faith-based disaster partners. I haven't seen them. It's been servants and Lutherans for the most part, I think, doing a lot of the work in Lebanon County when there's work to be done. I wouldn't even know who to call, an UMCOR or Brethren Disaster Services or Salvation Army or whatever. I mean, those are all partners in other places, Lancaster County and York County and other places. So to have somebody represent those organizations on the COAD would be awesome.
Yeah, Presbyterian Disaster is, the fact that we're St. Andrews is the only Presbyterian church in the county. That's not a surprise that PDA is not here. We got lucky, and I can't remember the fellow's name. Help me, Joellen, an older fellow from Mennonite who lived over in Newmanstown.
Oh, yes. Oh,
He
was it
was
Martin
huge.
or Zimmerman? Or
No, it wasn't him.
I can't
I can
remember.
picture him. But he lived over there, and
I can
he
picture
got,
him.
yeah, he got up, and he was MDA is actually down by Lancaster Airport, their
Right.
headquarters.
Right.
So he got a lot of crews to come up the first time that really helped out.
I know Larry Stoner from MDS very, very well.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Lebanon County is probably in his jurisdiction. I see him at Lancaster County and York County meetings. And he did do a little bit of work in Eastwick. I think there's so much that happening nationally, and a lot of those groups deploy nationally like you guys
Yes.
do.
Mhm.
And there's plenty to keep everybody busy. So it's easy to kind of overlook or forget about local stuff.
Absolutely, yes.
What
I
I'd
agree.
Well-
like to do is send you each, I didn't want to do it without the group's permission. And I don't know if I should send it to those in attendance or to the entire group of 12 with the list. I don't have to put all the information, but I can at least send the names. I have them in alphabetical order and send that to everyone and ask who are we missing? And like Glenn, you rattled off some names. If I have the names, I can research the contact information. But could you respond and give me the names of the different groups that you mentioned in writing? You went so
Yeah,
fast, I didn't get
I
to
might
write
be
it
able to
down.
generate a list on the PA VOAD or the National VOAD website. They actually list all of their national partners, and basically that's where you find out. Like, I mean, every major denomination has a disaster response arm.
Yes,
It's whether or not they're active in Lebanon County. You know,
that's a great tip. Thank you.
sure.
Then I can go there and find them. Are you interested, Jason and Glenn? I know Maggie and I have it, but are you two interested in reviewing the list we've compiled and see if you want to add anything?
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Sure.
burden you if you don't. I mean, we'll just do it. But I know
No.
Bob Dowd expressed to me personally that he welcomes this. It's sorely needed. And in fact, what happened, we don't have the yellow pages anymore. And to find everyone listed who we could possibly contact in a heartbeat, it's just not there anymore. You have to do
Right.
everything Maggie and I have been doing to pull the list together. So I think that it's a welcome thing that we're doing, and it will benefit us and it will benefit others. So
Okay, so how do we want to, do we want to do the sequence where the gentleman would look at the lists, maybe add some, edit them, see what they think, and then go ahead and send out a letter?
yes.
Okay, all right.
I have a question. Did you ever think of just like a one-page flyer explaining the organization with that like letter, like a flyer that you could post places like the Lebanon County, what it's about, what they do, so people kind of understand a little more of the organization and what it does?
We can do that. Is that something you would
Good
like to,
idea.
would you
That
like
would
to
make a lot of
create that
sense.
for us, Jason? Or are you not good with flyers? I mean, I can do it, but I would like to delegate some if you would like to.
Yeah, I could try to come up with something.
Okay, and then we can always make suggestions. You can give it to, email us a copy and we can provide feedback. Oh, did you think of adding this or taking, no, this is too much or whatever.
And Glenn might know this. Do they do that, Glenn, down in like Lancaster, York? Is there like some type of flyer that they already have out there to explain the organization and
Well,
looking
that's
for
true.
volunteers?
That's two
I'm not
things.
sure.
That's a flyer and a poster we're talking about now.
Okay. I'm not sure that there's a whole lot of publications. There's information on websites and things like that. But if you want to work on something and send it to me, I can make suggestions too. I don't know if you have any of the kind of organizational documents, might have a mission statement or a statement of purpose on it. All of that kind of stuff, I think, helps.
Well,
It's just good
Lendahan
to have the
had
right language.
Lendahan had a flyer before they actually lost office space, but it might be a good template. And I say that, and I'm trying to remember whether I actually even have some copies of the old one or not.
If you do, can you send us a
Well-
copy, Don?
That's what I was gonna ask. If somebody has something that, you know, I can kind of reference previously.
I would
Jim might
suggest
have
you
a
look at
copy.
our Facebook page, because
Yeah.
on there I have a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
I know it's kind of forgotten in the in-between, but I still post things once in a while just to make sure it's still relevant if somebody would go there to check on us,
Mhm.
whether it's the state or federal equivalent to us or whoever.
Yeah. Well, getting back to the letter, I would just like to say, I don't know how you're gonna start it. You're more articulate than I am. But I did like your first sentence and a half with all the hurt of your email. With all the hurricane threats, the Lord protected us and kept us safe. However, should a disaster strike in Lebanon County? And then you could continue with, we want you to know there is a group, but this group needs help, or something of that sort. I just like that.
That tone,
I kind of like that as sort of an opening to a letter, because I thought, well, then they're going to wonder, oh, they're just sending this this random letter and stuff. And the reason I thought of it is I used to be the educational person from the Susquehanna Chorale. And we would send letters to the choral directors and stuff like that. And if it doesn't grab your attention right away, it's going to go right to the side. So acknowledging that there are no threats right now, right away, but I just like the way you started it.
Okay, let me work on adjusting that then and putting that letter together. And then I'll send it again to the core group and ask for feedback before we start emailing or printing, anything like that. And we'll just get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing, again, going by past experience, before we really got organized, the first phone call that most people made when they had a flooded basement or whatever would be to the local townships. And in almost all the cases, they had no idea what to do with these folks. And
So we
then
could
the
also
next-
be including the townships in the letter.
Oh, you bet. You bet. Now, they won't be providing volunteers or funding,
No,
but at least they will know, okay, I've got a homeowner here that needs help. And this would be, I think, in conjunction, and we're already at that point with the MOU with DES, that DES knows about, because that's usually where the second phone call went as to how to get help. And they do know about us, which is, that's a good.
well then, from what you're saying, I think that Jason's flyer, because it doesn't cost any more to mail one than it does 2 pieces of paper. So it might be
Yes.
a extra $10 in printing or something. Why don't we do the letter along with Jason's flyer to everybody? And that way, again, including the townships, so that they're aware, then that way they know about it and they have it to hang on their bulletin boards right away. Wouldn't that be great?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think at this point, I don't know that we had a motion yet to go ahead with both of these. Is there a motion to do that?
I move that we created, or that a letter be created and a flyer be created that we can mail out to all our contacts.
Okay. And I do have other township contacts. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a second to Maggie's?
Second,
I'm
Okay.
sorry, who said that? You guys caught me.
that was Glenn.
Glenn, thank you. Okay, is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there any other business to bring before this illustrious board?
The only other thing I just want to make everybody aware that there will be the cost to the mailings. We know that, but as I read that bank account, we're good. The only other thing that will come up will be our post office box in February. And if I pay it in February and pay for the whole year till February of 25, they give us an extra 3 months.
Okay.
So that's always real. And it's like $98 or $78. I forget right now.
Would
But
you like a motion to do that when it comes due? So that do we want to have another meeting in February?
I just always did it. Didn't wait for permission. I just always did it. Like I always file the income tax. For
Yeah.
the correct.
And they both need done, but I think to be following Robert's Rules of Order, we should have a
Okay.
motion so that if we're expending money, that if we ever got an audit, that we've done it properly. So let's start establishing, whether you want to do it now or hold another meeting, that's fine. But if you want to
Well-
do it now, I'll listen for a motion.
We probably ought to have
Do it
another
now.
meeting just to review the letter and the
We're
flyers.
just gonna send it out,
Okay, all right.
and we don't know what we're doing.
Glenn, did you make a motion?
I didn't, but I can.
Oh, okay, I heard something.
I certainly, yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's necessary, but I'll certainly make the motion if you think it is. I think that
Yeah,
she's the treasurer paying a bill. We approve the treasurer's report, so either way, we're kind of giving her
Yeah.
what she
Well,
needs to do that.
I appreciate the motion and I do try and follow Robert's Rules of Order because there's a lot at stake for both the COAD and for me personally. And I would hate to have them come back and saying that we left money get spent and
Yeah.
we never did it.
right, right.
So is
Second.
there a second?
Yes,
Thank
Dawn
you.
approved it, or seconded it.
I think that was Dawn.
Yes,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, is there anything else to be brought forward? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Okay.
Glenn. All right, then it's 11:27 and we'll officially adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for your
Wait.
time and attention, and we'll get this together.
We should put in the minutes, go Phillies, right?
yes, yes,
Did you catch that?
I'm wearing my
yes,
hat.
I'm putting it.
I see your hat.
That's good, that's good.
Okay, I think you made the minutes. What can I say?
All
Yeah.
right, awesome.
Along with, it, yes, I am, made a motion to adjourn along with.
Very
Thank
good.
you,
Thank you.
Chair.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Yes,
All right,
everyone take
everybody.
care. Thanks for showing
care.
up, guys.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I will